Hi everyone, Bernard here with the latest vlog from the Citizen channel, and we have a city pass today and we have one of our little moments in time, and it's to celebrate, yes it was at the time, the visit of a Welsh team to Main Road for a First Division match. There's not been massive meetings between Manchester City and Swansea City, but this was an interesting one. And of course it's Manchester City versus Swansea City, 21st of November 1981, Main Road, 3 PM kickoff. Remember those 3 PM kickoffs is today's moment in time. Please, if you're new to the channel, please push that subscribe button, push the bell notification so these little vlogs are coming out, and please tell your friends, any City fans, that these little reviews of matches and City past and present are out there. I do history and current things, so please, more the merrier. Point them in my direction. I'll be very, very grateful. Yeah, November 1981. Well, my firstborn was just 2 months old. And it was very possibly a very blurry-eyed yours truly who tramped along to Main Road for this one. Yes, I was still getting to some games. I was working long hours, I remember, at GEC in Trafford Park. I was still getting to some games. I sort of missed a few the season before the FA Cup run. I got to the FA Cup final a few games before, etc. But obviously with a new child on the way, it wasn't always easy. But yeah, I got to this one. No one to take with me. I might have gone with me a couple of mates. I'm not too sure at the time. Memory's not that good, unfortunately. But yeah, I was probably a little bit blurry-eyed when I was tramped down to Main Road. I probably actually worked in the morning. That's what I used to do. I used to do overtime at Trafford Park. And then obviously I used to get, certainly for the home games, I wasn't perhaps getting to many away games then, but certainly for the home games, I would then finish about lunchtime and go straight on the used to get the bus at that time, or I was in a car. Again, I'm not 100% sure at that point in time, but then go to Main Road in the afternoon. So that's what I used to do, work at Trafford Park, past the horrible smell, and then down to Main Road for the afternoon. Yeah, Physical by Olivia Newton-John was number 1. Raiders of the Lost Ark was the highest growing movie that year, Raiders of the Lost Ark. And Bob Monkhouse, yeah, he was on at the City Social Club. I did see him a couple of times at City Social Club. I saw him a couple of times elsewhere as well, but I probably saw him when he was there at this date. We probably managed to get a babysitter and went and watched Bob Monkhouse. Absolutely fantastic. Happy days, November 1981. Yeah, back to the football, right. Post World War II. Yeah, we'd only played Swansea, they were called Swansea Town, 4 times at Main Road, 2 wins, a draw and a defeat. And obviously the Swansea was turned to a city in 1969. So obviously by February 1970, Swansea Town had become Swansea City, hadn't they? And indeed this season, well, what can I say? They were riding high in Division 1. John Toshack as the manager. Just at the age of 28, he'd become the player manager of Swansea back in 1978. After, of course, a great career at Liverpool, and previously he'd played for Swansea's arch rivals, Cardiff City, as well, and did quite well there. That's why I think that inspired Liverpool to pick him up, Bill Shankly, I think, at the time. Indeed, when he sort of was leaving Liverpool, he did approach Cardiff to take on a role of player coach, but at the time the Cardiff management refused. So, not to be outdone, Swansea soon plunged for him and were grateful to snap him up. And let's face it, he did a great job, because in the space of 4 seasons, he took them from the 4th division. Swansea City has now to the 1st division in the space. So obviously there was only 1 season they missed out on promotion. Within 4 seasons he got them three promotions, which was absolutely fantastic. Let's not forget that Toshack actually played both under Bill Shankly and Bob Paisley, and he obviously learned a little bit from those 2 gentlemen. Apparently Bill Shankly had told him nothing in football is impossible, and that you must always aim for the stars. Interestingly enough, he promised on Swansea's return to the 1st division, he made the following quote. Toshack obviously hadn't forgot what he was told by his old mentor, obviously, and he went on to say, "We have decided that if we set our sights no higher than survival, that will be the way to get relegated. If you aim for the championship, which we are, and you finish well up the table, even if you don't actually win the title." There you go. How did that pan out for him? We'll tell you in a moment. He obviously remembered those Shankly words, didn't he? That had been imparted to him previously. And great start. By mid-October, they actually topped the table, top of the First Division. Although by the visit to Main Road in late November, they dropped very slightly, but only slightly. Visited John Bond's City, but they were actually third on goal difference, and they actually had the same points as Ipswich. It was only the goal difference that was keeping into third spot, and they were 3 points behind Leaders United. But with 2 games in hand and 3 points for a win in those days, hey, it was still pretty impressive, wasn't it? Last season, of course, City had lost the FA Cup final. And we were doing okay, a little lack of consistency, which was our normal thing, wasn't it? It's no surprise there with that. And we were down in 10th for the visit of this Swansea City, but we were 7 points behind Swansea. Again, not unmanageable, not too bad. So it was with a fair amount of confidence, though, that Swansea did come into the game. The lineups that day: City was Corrigan, Ransom, McDonald, Reid, Bond, Caton, Chewett, Reeves, Francis, Hartford, Hutchinson, and Harady was the sub. Swansea was Davis, Hadziabdic, if I got that right, Stanley, Rakovic, Irwin, Stevenson, Curtis, Robbie James, Leighton James, Mahoney, Latchford, and their substitute was Giles. The ref for the day was Mr. George Courtney, remember him? Yeah, the match report, interesting day. It was a pretty wet, gloomy afternoon. I've watched back the highlights. I'll actually put them in the links for you as well. There's just 3.5 minutes of highlights there. So they're actually, please check the links if you want to watch the highlights of the game. It was a wet, gloomy afternoon. One of those, mate, where the lights come on and it's all dark and dingy. But typical Manchester afternoon, really. And it was not till late in the first half that Chewett both earned and scored a penalty on 41 minutes. To actually put City ahead at half time. Hutchinson missed. I don't know how he missed. If you watch the highlights, you'll see it. Hit the bar from about 7 yards out early in the second half with just the keeper to beat. But he did make amends after that by supplying on 63 minutes. He supplied the cross for Kevin Reeves to make it 2-0. Despite Di Davis again, Kevin Reeves did his best to miss. Di Davis got a hand on it, but it ended up going in the net. So that's fantastic. Again at 2-0, we were okay. I think Swansea had a go, but on 83 minutes we put it out of sight with a superb glancing header from Reeves from a Trevor Francis cross. He looked as though he wasn't going anywhere. Trevor Francis, he pushed right out to the wing, but managed to get a great cross in, and Reeves unchallenged glancing header into the goal. I think it took a slight deflection off a Swansea player's head as well as it went in. And just to round things off, 2 minutes later, obviously that was 2 goals for Reeves. Chewett added his second as well, and City's fourth when he actually put it between keepers. Di Davis, I remember Di Davis, the keeper, put it through his legs, and again from a Trevor Francis assist. He was fantastic when he played. Unfortunately, he just didn't play that often. I've shown you some images there, and my thanks to City Till I Die, where the images are from. So I do mention them in my my list on my links anyway below. So just to re-mention them. So yeah, a very comfortable 4-0 win, and the link to the game is underneath this video vlog. The crowd that day, not a bad crowd, 34,744. We were sort of in the mid-30s to high 30s that season. So it was a bit of a lesson for Swansea, and a great win for us, wasn't it? We were on fire that day, City. That was tended to be the case with City. Some days we were on fire, other days we weren't that season. And we ourselves, of course, went top of the table very briefly over the new year, early in the new year. Swansea did get a little bit of revenge. So in April 1982, when at Vetchfield, remember Vetchfield? Great old ground. They got a 2-0 win over us. So so they did get a little bit of revenge and finished a very creditable 6 on 69 points. Absolutely, they did actually qualify for Europe, but that was through winning the Welsh Cup. It wasn't anything to do with league position. I mean, they did struggle with injuries as well. They had signed a lot of players in the previous closed season, but they did struggle with injuries, but still managed to finish 6th, which was absolutely fantastic, wasn't it, for Swansea? They'd won 21, drawn 6, lost 5, and their attendances, their average at Vetchfield was 18,194. So not massive, but it didn't hold much more, I don't think, at the time. Well, as for us, as for City, yeah, I mean, we did start this game in 10th place, didn't we? As I said, we did, as we said earlier, we did go top very briefly, but yeah, we finished 10th by the end of the season on 58 points. So a good 11 points behind Swansea City. So not a bad season for Swansea. And I say we've obviously, I think they did quite well when they came up in the 2010s, didn't they? I think that did they go top again at some stage? I might have to do another little moments in time on that one anyway. But I thought it was interesting looking back at this moment in time. City versus Swansea, 21st November 1981, Main Road, 3 p.m. kickoff. And thanks very much for joining me for this little special. Anyway, please check my links on screen. If you're into movies and TV dramas, etc., do little vlogs on that as well. So please check the playlist for all that information. Or if you know someone who may be interested, please, much appreciated. Thumbs ups are always great as well. It's great to get views, but it's great to get thumbs up as well. And please, if you can check my little website, which is my little day job, moviegamenostalgia.com, for old rare DVDs, movie posters from the 90s and 2000s, and some board games on there as well. That'd be absolutely fantastic if you can follow the link and have a look on there. And please, Facebook and Twitter, if you friend or follow me on there, I do check every couple of days, and I follow and friend everyone back. So that's fantastic. I do post stuff on there as well as these vlogs. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that moment in time. Let me know any comments. Do you remember that game? Were you at the game? Do you remember the game? As I say, watching the highlights brings it all back. They were great. They're great highlights. Some great stuff. Some great play from City. All right, we only saw 2.5, 3 minutes, but we didn't have a bad team then in the under Mr. Bond. Say it was inconsistency, wasn't it? That's always going to cost us, unfortunately. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please, what are we going to do the rest of have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your family. More importantly, let's all look after each other. And until you join me again, another citizen on this Citizen channel for another Citizen past or present, please stay safe, blues. I'll see you all again soon. Bye bye.